Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I noticed that that none of the panelists are attorneys, and I was wondering if anybody on the panel is qualified to discuss the constitutionality of the legislation and how it would conform or not conform to U.S. Supreme Court cases. Okay. And second question is anything unique about Washington, D.C. that this proposal should apply to Washington, D.C. and nowhere else?
It wouldn't be true to say nowhere else that this legislation applies to D.C., but these similar legislation has been passed in other states.
Well,
this is not the first time that
we're considering legislation just applying it to Washington, D.C. rather than the entire nation. Is there anything unique about Washington, D.C. where we ought to have this proposal apply to D.C. and nowhere else? Let me ask another question. This applies to abortions, as I understand the legislation, abortions performed in Washington, D.C. Would the prohibition apply for a Virginia resident coming into Washington, D.C. to get an abortion?
As far as I know, yes, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Would it apply to a Washington, D.C. resident going to Virginia to get an abortion?
No, it would not.
Would not, okay. Would it apply if the pregnancy resulted from rape?
Yes.
Would it apply if the pregnancy resulted from incest?
Yes.
And it would also apply, as I understand it, to a fetal medical condition inconsistent with life?
Yes.
It would?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no further questions, and I yield back.